My next wonder of the world is the bat's ear, or the bat's echolocation system, the way bats find their way around in the dark. It's a sense that we can only get a very dim sense of because we don't have anything like it ourselves. We've got perfectly good ears, and we can hear echoes. And blind people do sort of help to find their way around by listening for echoes. And blind people who've developed the sense well speak of something they call facial vision. And they almost feel that they're going to bump into a wall, and what that probably is subtle use of echoes which they're scarcely aware of. One of the problems that bats face is that because the echoes that come back are extremely faint, especially the echo from one little tiny insect, the outgoing cry has to be very, very loud indeed in order to get back any sort of echo at all. So there is a problem with the bat. The bat might be in danger of deafening itself by the sheer loudness of its own cry. And you might say, well, why does it make its ears so sensitive? Well, they've got to be sensitive because they've got to listen to the very, very faint echoes coming back. Different bats solve it in different ways, but one beautiful way that some bats do it is they have a muscle which is attached to one of the bones in the middle ear. And by pulling on the muscle, they can temporarily deafen themselves. So the bat deafens itself by pulling on this muscle, then it gives a cry, and then it lets go the muscle just in time for the ear to be hearing again by the time the very faint echo comes back. Then it deafens itself again by pulling on the muscle, and then gives another cry. Well, that's remarkable enough, but it's even more remarkable when you realize that these bats are giving cries at a rate of, say, 50 times a second. And that's a wonder of the world. It reminds me of, in the Second World War, there were certain fighter planes that used to fire their guns, as it were, through the propeller, because that was the best place for them to be, for the pilot to aim, I suppose. But it was very important, obviously, that the bullets shouldn't shoot the propeller off. When a bat is just cruising around, not doing very much, waiting to find an insect, then the pulses come out at a fairly low rate. It's just a kind of tick over. The bats have to count the cost of every cry that they give, which is why they reserve their high firing rates for when they really need them, for when they're closing in on prey. And so there is a tight economy out there.